Hey, Dr. Minesha here, and I want to formally and informally invite you to the Peace Driven Leader Lounge. I say formally because we have some of the top leaders in the planet that comes and shares a seat with me in the lounge, but informally because we're just talking. It's nothing scripted here. We're just having candid conversation with real leaders who are living real lives. And so, welcome. If this is your first time joining us on the Peace Driven Leader podcast, this is your official welcome. So glad to have you. You are in the place where leaders are serious about loving, living, and leading differently. We live in a world and a time where it's artificial intelligence, it's artificial connections, and it's artificial experiences where everyone's performing, right? It's not real. And so I really want to just have real global conversations around what it really means to lead, in an authentic way. And so, with that being said, I'm excited to be able to introduce to you in the lounge with Meri. Um, Meri, welcome, welcome, welcome. What part of the world are you tuning in from?
Hi, Manisha. I'm currently in Bosnia, in Sarajevo.
Oh,
Yes, in the
wow. So
Balkans. Yes.
literally on the other side of the world. So that's
Yes.
awesome. I'm glad that you were able to come over here in the virtual lounge with us on today. Good to have you. And I'm excited about the conversation that we're going to have today because if you are listening and you are a one man show or one woman show, it is time for you to move to what I call a legacy CEO. So if you're feeling overwhelmed or you feel like your demands are really high, and if you said things like if you want it to be done right, you got to do it yourself, or if you felt very unsure, apprehensive about delegating, just because you've had, poor experiences in the past. That really is trauma based for a lot of us. I know I've had some experiences where I delegated and lost money, just because you're not putting the right people in the right positions and all those good things. So we're going to kind of unpack that and what it really looks like to properly delegate and to really lead in a way where you are not the orchestrator and the stabilizer for everything. And I'm going to talk to you about how you can reposition yourself. All right. With that being said, I would love to be able to introduce to you all Meri. Welcome to the Peace Driven Leader Lounge. So glad to be able to have you connect with us from all across the world. Tell us, where are you tuning in from?
Yeah, so originally I'm from the Philippines, but currently I'm in Bosnia, in Sarajevo. So I've been
Oh,
traveling for 5 months, just
you
working
go,
and traveling.
girl. That is awesome. And so that just is a perfect segue into our conversation because I love that work is not limited to a location, right? I love that type of work personally. For many of you all who are listening, you may get an opportunity to travel, especially I find that the more you go into, upper management, you tend to have more flexibility to travel. And, with that comes some bittersweet, when it comes to your ability to be able to stay on top of your health, your health goals, your exercise. You have to be very intentional when you're working and you're traveling as well. But what I wanted to really kind of unpack in our conversation today is all of the leaders who have subscribed to this work hard, do it yourself. Everything is kind of in their head and they really haven't fully let go for real, for real. So I would like for you to first just share with us your expertise, what you've been able to do, the results that you've been able to acquire over the years, just working with leaders that are high achieving and high earning. And then let's kind of unpack some of the things that you have found because you're like a book of case studies You've worked with so many entrepreneurs and corporate leaders who've done some incredible things, and so I would love for you to kind of unpack some of the things that you're seeing on your end, and let's just have some candid conversations of how we can move differently when it comes to amplifying our level of effectiveness and efficiency in a very peace-driven way.
So thank you for that, Manisha. So hi everyone, my name is M, and I am a seasoned digital marketing strategist and entrepreneur for over 10 years now. So I started actually this career 10 years ago, or 12 I would say, and from being a digital marketing strategist. So before I became an agency owner, I actually worked with several business owners as well, like being their executive assistant, doing their digital marketing and all that. So I probably was able to kind of like, gain more like knowledge from them on how they do things, and I was able to kind of learn how they do their thing, like not just
Mhm.
business wise but also personally. And
Yes.
then yeah, so and then since 2022 I started my staffing agency, and I've been in this industry for almost 5 years now, and helping, entrepreneurs, and then solopreneurs, like in different type of like industry. So basically, we've helped small businesses scale from like being a solo
Entrepreneur.
entrepreneur. So yeah, and making it really big, like scale businesses, especially small business owners. Like let's say they started just by selling on Amazon, like small stuff, and then became like really really large with several employees, like virtual employees. We've also helped a lot of coaches scale um their businesses from having only like few leads in a month into multiplying it into two or three. We also help service-based businesses like HVAC cleaning, services cleaning industry, scale their businesses by adding new service location in the United States. And currently we have over 30 plus active VAs in our business. And at the same time, we also do a lot of campaigns for several clients, wherein it's actually seasonal, wherein we do a campaign for them on a quarterly basis. And then that's the time we kind of like hire a lot of VAs to do lead generation for them, or even do like sales calls. And like every single time we do this campaign, it would always increase their revenue, and we also make sure that there's always a return of investment in what they have invested in us. And so far, everything's been doing well. And
Awesome. Awesome. So
yes.
you've given me so many different pathways of conversation here. I'm like, which way do I want to go? And that's the beautiful thing about not being scripted, is that we could just go where our soul allows. And one of the biggest things I like to do is to enhance perspective. So for those of you all who are listening, a lot of them are corporate professionals who are aspiring entrepreneurs, or they currently are working in business part-time or full-time. If you're listening and you are a W-2 employee and that is it, I really want you to lean in on this conversation, because one of the biggest things I would love for you to see is that you are your owner. You are the entrepreneur, not the company. Like, so it's this spirit of entrepreneurship, this essence. And when you come into your work with this mindset of you being the owner, there's a level of agency and mindset shift that comes along with just that shift of embodiment. So as we have this conversation, I want you to think about it in that way. Don't just, oh man, she just, works with entrepreneurs, and then you shut that side of your brain off. I really want you to see yourself in the spirit of an entrepreneur, how that would look differently if you showed up in work leveraging professional help. And that's what you provide, is professional help. And so you get to see firsthand how leaders are organizing their day, how they are choosing their priorities, and you get to see them from one state, small, doing everything themselves, trying to make it do, to that gap where they trust and they put systems in place to leap them. Like literally from what you just shared, it's like a quantum leap experience where their income is moving. So I would love for you to kind of talk through what are some of the behaviors that you see the leaders doing before they start working with you. What are some of those inefficient but popular behaviors?
Yes. So I think firstly would be they do everything manually by themselves, to the point wherein they get burned out. Because of course there are several reasons. Like first is that they like, just like what you said, like the level of trust. Sometimes they're kind of like really invested in what they do because they've been doing this for the longest time by themselves. So they kind of like don't know how to delegate these things to other people, or even like trust others to kind of like do the work for them. And it's really hard, like, to kind of like, yeah, reach to that level. So that's what I've noticed with them. So whenever they do a discovery call with us, that's something they always ask, like, is this something that they would really ask me, like, is this really something that you can do? Like, can I trust the person who's gonna do this for me? So I realized that okay, it's not just a matter of delegating, but it's also a matter of trust. And most important, they come to the discovery call for us to kind of like, just for them to know if we are the person that they can trust, or if this
Yeah.
is really something, and how to do this, because they haven't really hired
You showed
anybody.
them that though. Like on that call, what are some things that you see that you find puts their nervous system at ease?
Yes. So whenever we do the call, discovery call, what I do or what my team would do is just listen to them, because that's the first thing.
Wait, you gotta pause right there. That's so good. Did you all hear that? The first thing that they do is listen. One of the most seemingly insignificant, very powerful leadership skills that many of us lack is listen. What if we did that in our homes, in our workplace? What if we amplified our listening skills? So when you're listening, what are you listening for?
Yes. So when we're listening, is that of course we listen about what their pain points are, like what are they struggling, and all that. And sometimes they would really, sometimes they get overwhelmed, like they have so many things to do. And that's the time then we started to ask questions like, okay, so this is what happened, and that, and then up until to the point wherein we already know what they need, and then that's the time we offer them like, okay, this is what our agency can do for you. Is this something that you're willing to kind of like, let go of the task and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So what I'm hearing, and I want you all to really kind of embody and step into this because these are principles and skills that I feel that works in any, arena when it comes to helping someone overcome fear. Because in order for you to trust, you have to, it sounds so easy. Oh, trust, just have to trust this. But in order to get to that point, there's a state where you have to overcome the fear. And so if you are listening and you have not reached that point, one of the biggest things that, I did, because I'm logical, I had to just write out the things that I was fearing. They dropped the ball, or if I miss this, then what will happen? And really like look at it and sit in it, you know? And then once you were able to like logically see what you could do if those things did happen, then the fear just releases up. Okay, worst case scenario, the ball gets dropped. I don't get the email sent, or, I missed the phone call. What next? And then once I started to put those contingencies in place, then it really did help me with the fear. I think when I started getting help, because I have a team myself now, it just came from me just growth. I reached to a point where it was just like, oh my gosh, you know, I think for me, it was when I couldn't be as involved with my kids. Like when I saw it starting to impact my home, it was like a boop, 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 boop. It was alarm like, nope, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I would rather pay someone to do these things that are redundant and energy sucking and reallocate that to the things that really are meaningful to me and matter to me, right? That's what you all are doing. You're not just taking work off of our plates, you're bringing meaning back to our lives. Powerful work. Tell us about one of the one of your biggest success stories that you remember. I know you have a team now, and I'm sure you have plenty that they have. What is one that really like rings loud to you right now in this moment that you felt like, man, I am so grateful that we were able to assist them. Maybe it's because of the type of work that they did that you connected with. And, is someone coming up for you? I would love to hear.
Yeah, so there's one. He is actually one of our very first client in the agency, and up until now, he's still with us. So when he started working with us, he only have one branch because he's in the carpet cleaning industry in Los
Oh,
Angeles.
wow.
Yes.
Okay,
So
cool.
so he was only so he was like our first client, and then since he found out like he can actually delegate things, lower his cost by hiring someone remotely, so he hired VAs from our agency. So when he started hiring, he realized like, oh, this is working for him, and then that's the time he was able to kind of like have more time in his personal life, and then eventually after 2 years he got married to his girlfriend. And yeah, because then he told me like, "Oh, I'm really thankful to you, Em, because now that I have more time on my plate, I can start to like get
This
married
is
and start
so this
family."
is it. This is what it looks like to buy your time back, right? And I have that book. I should have had I should have had it, but there's actually a book called Buy Your Time Back. And it goes in more detail about it for those of you all who are, leaning into that direction. Even if you are leading in corporate, if you want to leverage yourself, you can afford not to hire professional help. And one of the things I think about too is that a lot of times when we are at the top of our game, we want to be at the top of our game. We hit this ceiling. And that's why. It's because that happens when you are not able to leverage the efforts of other people. And I'm not just talking about internally in your team, but being able to get help for you as the leader. That is what really becomes game changing because the team is really helping you on just that business or that career front, right? But you are wanting to be able to accelerate at a higher level. And that is what's really powerful. This is awesome. I just want to say thank you, Em, so much for the work that you do and how you've been able to serve so many entrepreneurs and leaders in their work, giving them capacity to be able to find and nurture true love and create real connections, because that to me is what it's all about. What's the point of having more time if you're just going to build more things? And that's just, to me, it feels soulless, right? And so it's really powerful when leaders can do that. So I would love for you to just share what would you like to leave the people before we close today?
Yeah, so I know that most of your listeners are actually like solopreneurs or planning to start out a business. All I can say is that no man is an island, and sometimes like especially when we're starting out, we only have like a limited budget. Sometimes we just don't hire people and then learn everything on our own. But always remember that when you learn things your own, you're actually wasting money as well because time is money. So if you use that time looking for clients or like finding or like working on something that you love doing for your business, then you know you'll eventually grow your business in the future, and then just leave all those things to the experts or just so
Yeah.
yeah, those
I
are.
love that. You heard it here. You heard that. And if you have not downloaded the iLead We Rise app, definitely do that because we take this professional help to a whole nother level. We have vetted experts inside of the app. You don't even have to think about it. and not just from work standpoint, but we're talking about the 8 domains of leadership from your personal leadership, helping you align yourself with professionals who are going to keep you like a professional player, because you are the 1%, right, of the population. And you know that because you're in high demand. Everybody is trying to get to you. So who's pouring into you, right? So that's what this is about, being able to get you properly supported. Listen, it's not about how much you carry, it's about how well you carry it. And I'm so glad that we have an opportunity to support you on your journey as you make major income and impact. Until next time, remember, peace driven leadership is not something you find, it's something you create. And this now is your moment to create it. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Bye bye for now.